what we know as the Watchtower magazine today. But what he started to do is make all of these prophecies that he believed would happen based on interpreting the Bible from an English point of view. Remember, he's basing his comprehension and understanding based on reading it, the King James Version, in English, not the Tanakh based on Hebrew scripture and understanding, but English based on the King James Version. Now, he had all of these prophecies. And one thing he said that in 1891, he said at the end of 1914, what gods called Babylon or what men call Christendom will have passed away. Has it passed away? Christianity's still here and strong, right? He said in 1914, he said Christianity will pass away.
You know that's in the lessons too, the Nation of Islam.
Say it again?
That's in the lessons.
Oh, that's in the lessons, right.
The Nation of Islam, the Nation of Islam taught that in 1914 would be the end of the devil's rule.
Right.
So we was in captivity, they got a grace period.
Right.
You know,
So see, you see the Nation of Islam had a similar interpretation. It may have been also because of their interpretation of what they were reading.
If you study Jehovah's Witnesses, it's not too different from the Nation of Islam. They don't believe in the Trinity.
Right.
They don't believe when you die, you go to heaven.
Right.
144,000. It's very similar teaching.
Very similar. Right.
Very similar.
They don't celebrate none of the holidays.
No.
They don't celebrate their birthday. None of those things. And then, they go on to say that Armageddon is coming during that time. 6,000 years from man creation. They say that will end in 1975, and the seventh period of 1,000 years of human history will begin to fall 1975. So they pretty much was prophesied 1975 will be the end of mankind in 1975. Say it again?
Wow.
1975, wow. And so, you see this information, you see many different interpretations from Jehovah's Witness. Now, one of their interpretations was Jehovah, the name itself for God, based on their readings of the Bible. And according to the Tetragrammaton, the YHVA, they translated or transliterated that Tetragrammaton as Jehovah. Hence, they call themselves Jehovah's Witness. Now, when you understand the Hebrew understanding and how we explain it from the Moorish perspective, God or the Most High is beyond any language. You can't conform it to a language. All right? Now, when God commits Moses to Israel to liberate the children of Israel from bondage of the Pharaoh of Egypt, he asked for God's name or validation to his God-given commandment to the children of Israel. You can see Exodus 3, verse 14. And God answers, when he asks what's God's name, God says, or the Most High says, I am that I am. He don't give him a name. Now, Hebrew tradition is not to pronounce the sacred name at all, but is substituted or given attributes or titles. One such substitute is Adonai, Adonai.
Adonai, yep.
Say it again?
Adonai.
Right, Adonai, my Lord. All right, so The Tetragrammaton, YHVH, sometimes is translated as Yahweh. The Y is Yod, He, Vav, He. All right, and they have all numeric values. You gonna read that from
I was looking to see what it says in this one.
Exodus?
Exodus said, this one it says, I shall be as I shall be.
Oh, I shall be as I shall be. Right, pretty much means the same thing.
Yeah, but let me get it in this
Yeah.
one.
You translate that in Hebrew, I am that I am is actually Yahweh.
Yeah.
I am that I am is Yahweh, right. So that's not saying that's the name, that's just the answer that he's given.
Mm-hmm.
That's the answer that he's given. In Hebrew is written as YH and then YHVH. It is with these 6 letters that God created all things. It is thus written, trust in God for eternity of eternities. YHVH. He formed universes. Now this is written, I don't have a board in front of me, but you would be able to see it how it's written, the Hebrew letters. He formed universes, Isaiah chapter 26, verse 4. This name, however, also contains the Tetragrammaton, YHVH, here translated as the Lord.
Oh, she got a little board.
What's that? Oh, you got a board. Well, you want to write it? Well, I read it.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. The V, yeah, that's the Yiddish. It really is ancient us. We pronounce it W.
W, right. No, I got the W as well.
Yeah.
It's W, right. Yeah, also when you talk about Hebrew, Yiddish is also a European dialect was mixed in there, as well as vowels.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of a V, it would be a W. Now, Yah is part of the original pronunciation. Sometime when you read the scripture, you see Elohim is the name given for God as the creator of the universe. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 through 2. And implies strength and power. Strength, power, and justice. We don't know how to pronounce the sacred name. That's what it said. We can't pronounce the sacred name. And here I have it, as stated, YHVH is the name expressing the mercy and condescension of Almighty God. Jehovah, on one account, the name of the Lord, would not be taken in vain by substituting the vowel. Now, how you pronounce Gary got his certificate in Hebrew, so he's going to help me with the pronunciation. It's Adonai?
Adonai.
Adonai.
Yeah. My Lord.
Right, my Lord. And putting them into Hebrew letters in the running text. This is called Ker. Qere. Pronunciation, what is to be read, as opposed to the Ketev, the written form, what is to be written.
That's like saying, like when you read something on the signs or whatever, that's like the block letter, but the way you don't write it like that. When you write it, pretty much like you're writing the script. That's why I wrote it Yahweh twice.
So how you read it and how you write it is two different things.
Yeah.